We Are All Changing, September 11, 2015. By Lisa Gawlas. Webpage, www.mysoulcenter.com. Red wine. Filtered earth, or white wine. Accelerated earth. Either way, we are all changing. Unsurprisingly, that accordion of a field is getting tighter. The images, not even pleasant to look at, well, that is, if you're headed to the accelerated zone. It's like seeing you be put in a juicer. There isn't even an outline of a human form anymore. Instead, this massive splattering of multicolored liquid juice stuff. Yesterday when I was sharing, I meant to include an analogy of this accelerated time, but I suppose my team purposely had me forget to share it, because yesterday they were more focused on a very different analogy. Turning grapes into wine. We are in the juicing stage, from the 12th through the 14th, we will be in the fermenting stage, and then we pour into out new containers called our life. Unlike the caterpillar that by onset of DNA codes within itself, has no choice but to create its cocoon and transform into a butterfly, this time we are in right now, that actually started in earnest August 1st, is all about choice. Internal and external choice. I had to look up the process of making grapes, and this sentence really stands out. You can make a bad wine from good grapes, but not a good wine from bad grapes. That dip I had seen for September 6th, was where the separation of grapes ready to be turned into wine, or dropped back into another dimension to regrow oneself within the lessons that soured you in the first place, to give yet another series of choice of sweetness over bitterness. We all have gone through this process several too many times during this lifetime alone. And so the harvest started again, being plucked off the vines of our lives in one way or another, and many are still undergoing this process: sudden job losses, home losses, relationship losses, even things like my daughter, being completely stripped of all of your life to take a harder look at the choices being made. For those like me, where my life seems unaffected by the gathering up, plucked process, we are there to assist those going through change. Our jobs are to interact and remind those who could easily melt down, break down, give up, that whatever they are going through, is better than it may appear. The sugar, if you will. I've been plucked and stripped down so many times over this lifetime that now, it ain't nothing but a thing that I know, if we allow the change, becomes better than we ever hoped for as we move through and out of it. To see the contrast of what is happening and how, I got a bird's eye view yesterday. I had my follow-up reading with my beautiful sleeping, flatlining lady, and nothing changed. As I was listening to her talk and get more angry at her team saying she must change the way she feels inside if she wants something different, I have seen something I have not seen in a very long time. Her team, now completely grayed out of my field of vision, threw their hands up in the air. She says she cannot hear her team led her to me. On most days smile, I hear fine. But the message from them is not go here or go there for a better life, it's go within and change the way you are feeling and reacting. No one will ever find permanent change from the outside in. Yeah, homes may change, jobs may change, but if you don't change the way you feel inside the core of yourself, everything else is superficial and will make the repressed anger and stuff even more intense when it ends. When we choose to keep seeing things the way we keep seeing things, even our guides have got to just let us experience more of that, until we are so ready for change nothing else matters. Through her I could see the sands of the hourglass, still asleep in the deep, dripping down to the next version of herself. This is why being on the filtered earth is so important for many. There is a lag between the anger we may put out before it presents itself as an experience back at ya. A longer time to simmer down and choose again. A longer, harder look at the choices made repetitively and choose a different outcome. Or not. On the other side of the coin is my daughter. Her life squeezed everything from her and she was in choice. Massive freak in choice. Through our love and support, she truly chose love this time around. She told me about her hearing when she went before the judge to see if he would give her bond. She said she had never been so scared in all her life, her stomach was in knots, she was on the verge of tears. She listened to her attorney plead her case and she said he made her sound like such a good person and the love and support that she has in me, that she had to fight back the tears just hearing that. The moment the judge declared bond, her whole body exploded. She was sobbing uncontrollably, her body shaking so bad she couldn't control it. God, I so would have loved to witness that. Until now, she was made of steel and not in the positive way. And her heart burst asunder in that very moment. Yesterday morning we spent a lot of time on the computer together. I was forwarding her all the donations and some of the beautiful emails that were sent to me in her support. She was overwhelmed with the love, the unconditional love and support of what many would consider strangers. She said, as she dove in writing to everyone, her head was splitting in two and her heart is overwhelmed with feeling loved. That she could feel it so deeply her eyes kept leaking. Yay! This is something she has not allowed herself to experience in 6 years. Raising your vibration to the frequency of love can really give you a headache. But man, what a blessed headache that is. I must say again, thank you for loving me and my daughter so very much. Your love and your support has transformed a life in ways I never even dared to hope to happen. This is really how the elixir of wine works. It seeps in, intoxicates and changes those open to receive. Changing water into wine, yup, yeah, all are divine changemakers for sure. I am grateful. So I am cleaning my house wondering, okay, how and what is being squeezed out of me? Geez, I know, I sure as hell am not getting a free pass. I was doing dishes and suddenly I heard my father's voice, a conversation, wait, excuse me, an argument we had during one of my visits to him. He told me that blood makes family. Excuse me. It sure as hell does not, or I would have been screwed. Remembering this conversation was bringing up something deep down brewing, through all of my trials, most especially with this current one with my daughter, other than my son, not one family member even so much as made a comment, reached out, nuttin'. I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers. Not a word, not a hug. It is you who held us steady, gave us unconditional support, created a massive opening in a heart forged from steel. And this rose up in me as I did my dishes, phew baby. And I heard myself say blood creates biology, love creates family. Then, I watched as so many beams of light turned on from hearts all over the world and was shining through my window. You are truly my family. My family of light, of love, bound in a way blood relatives have no idea about. I think too, my father really understood my argument now that he is on the other side of the veil. But my team wasn't done in squishing what was brewing deep inside. When that lovely lady put on my Facebook, is this something to be proud of nowadays? Our children getting out of jail. Bless her heart for completely missing the point of celebration, but as I was now washing my floors, cleaning day yesterday, lol, my team was yapping away about college or university or hell, even my time in the Navy. How proud parents are when their children graduate, having come out learning a new skill to make money. My graduation from boot camp was the only time in my lifetime my mother felt proud. She sent me a dozen roses to celebrate. I hated the place. Much to her dismay, 8 months later I would end that awful career. But we celebrate what we expect from others, what we see as good or better or money-oriented. But jail. Why not look at it as a school too? One my baby girl had to keep repeating until she learned the value of herself, not money, not a skill they probably won't even use after investments of tons of dollars, but this jail thing, is transforming my daughter's whole life, my whole life. So going back to making wine. LOL, I find it interesting that, red wine making differs from whites. Red wines are fermented on their skins, while white wines are pressed, separating juice from skins, before fermentation. So the red grapes are dropping down to the filtered earth, fermenting in their skins, to give them another chance to align with the earth of unconditional love, non-judgment, self-acceptance and joy in all things. While us wild and crazy folks are being juiced. LOL, yay. I don't know what it means to us, but if you feel a bit intoxicated this weekend, know it's life drunk with love, drunk within you. On that note, I love you so much. What rockin' bunch of grapes we are. Oh, and I want to leave this wonderful story from Wayne Dyer to ponder on too. When you squeeze an orange. Shared August 29, 2015. By Wayne Dyer. This was the last teaching on Facebook, Wayne Dyer shared before he died. I was preparing to speak at an I Can Do It conference and I decided to bring an orange on stage with me as a prop for my lecture. I opened a conversation with a bright young fellow of about 12 who was sitting in the front row. If I were to squeeze this orange as hard as I could, what would come out? I asked him. He looked at me like I was a little crazy and said, "Juice, of course. Do you think apple juice could come out of it?" "No." He laughed. "What about grapefruit juice?" What would come out of it?" "Orange juice, of course." "Why? Why when you squeeze an orange does orange juice come out?" He may have been getting a little exasperated with me at this point. "Well, it's an orange and that's what's inside," I nodded. "Let's assume that this orange isn't an orange, but it's you. And someone squeezes you, puts pressure on you, says something you don't like, offends you. And out of you comes anger, hatred, bitterness, fear. Why? The answer, as our young friend has told us, is because that's what's inside. It's one of the great lessons of life. What comes out when life squeezes you? When someone hurts or offends you? If anger, pain and fear come out of you, it's because that's what's inside. It doesn't matter who does the squeezing, your mother, your brother, your children, your boss, the government. If someone says something about you that you don't like, what comes out of you is what's inside. And what's inside is up to you, it's your choice. When someone puts the pressure on you and out of you comes anything other than love, it's because that's what you've allowed to be inside. Once you take away all those negative things you don't want in your life and replace them with love, you'll find yourself living a highly functioning life. Thanks, my young friend, and here's an orange for you. Hugs filled with the sweetness of life. Lisa Gawlas. Webpage, www.mysoulcenter.com. As I was writing this morning, I kept hearing a song I never heard before, a lyric from the song Pour the Wine. I had to giggle when I found the song by an old crooner named Dean Martin. Mama Earth, this song's for you.